You know what just happened? We just went through 2 Stellas in a week. So now this is the Stella and it's the vibe. It's the vibe I've been going for the whole time. Tell me about the first time you went to the High Strangeness house.
Okay, the first time we went there was the week before we filmed, or a few days before, whatever. And we had just decided that I was going to play Stella, and I needed to go, and everybody had to teach me, you know, the basics of acting because I didn't know how to act. Physically, the house is like your stereotypical haunted house visually. And then when you walk in, downstairs is okay, but once you start going up the stairs and upstairs, it's just very spooky and heavy and just viscerally you just feel on edge. Not necessarily negatively on edge, but it's just a different experience. I mean, the first day I noticed like sounds, very specific sounds, like a banging, like picture like a sound of like a coconut dropping on like a zinc roof, but like a few times. And then when you looked outside, there was absolutely nothing that could have been making that sound. The shutters, they didn't make that sound, they didn't move. There's nothing that like made sense.
And I love how when we were rehearsing, it's like nervous laughing the whole time. We both decided to ignore the fact that we heard this constant banging.
Yeah, and it was during the day too, and there were a bunch of people around, so it was fine. It was more funny. So that was my first interpretation. I was like, yeah, I get it. You know, perfect house for this film. The experience during filming was just, again, a crap ton of people around, so you really were never alone and scared. It was more like if you needed to use a bathroom and like go down the hall, that it was by yourself, that you would really feel a little strange. But the sound, the banging sound was there throughout the entire filming process, throughout all the days before, and nobody knew what the sound was, and it was a sound on the house, like in the house, and nobody knew what it was. And when we asked the housekeeper, she was like, yeah, I mean, the sound is always there. And we were like, okay, so what is it? She's like, can't tell you, don't know. It's kind of like a sound where you have an open window and you forgot to like put the little lock on the window, and it's banging, like wind is banging the window. But there's nothing that was banging.
Alright, ready? Should we call it? You guys turn around, please. Alright, that's a wrap. Yeah.
For the champagne.
Yes, director. We made it.
Yeah.
Guys, don't take off your clothes.
So yeah,
Tell me about after you finished filming, the subsequent days.
so there's a lot that's packed into the answer to that question. I came home just like exhausted and not really expecting anything strange to happen, but for a good few days after filming, it just had like going to bed at night and like the lights were off. It was just loud, like almost as though you were in like a cafeteria in a high school, but not that sound like you're sitting right there, but kind of like background noise at like a lower decibel, like you're in like a very crowded area with lots of laughing and talking and shouting and scuffling, and that I just heard that, and I was like I was laying in bed, and like Kirk would be sleeping, so it's not him obviously, the TV's off, everybody's sleeping, and it was just loud, and I was like, and I would like go like this, and then, you know, it would be okay, and then I would like release my airs, and it was just loud, and I was just like, well, this is very strange. But I didn't really think anything of it, and then I couldn't sleep, and then it was just very strange. And then I wouldn't be able to fall asleep until like 2-3 in the morning. I just felt uneasy. I hated it, and it made me very angry. Each night was like the same very loud, busy cafeteria noises. Like one night it wasn't that loud, but it was more like not screams from like agony or negative screams. It was just like sounds of like voices that were like, I can't even describe it, but just sounds. And it was people. And then I was like, I kind of made the connection in my head, because you had mentioned to me that you realized that you didn't really want to be meddling too much in like that whole arena, because it kind of opened this space up to energies that maybe we wouldn't want around here. I feel like we took back with us some energy that wasn't necessarily the intention or what we wanted, but I knew that that's what happened.
They followed us home.
Yeah, and it was I'm not going crazy. I'm not, I wasn't dreaming. I'm not sick. I don't take medication. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I was like consciously laying down, and I would wake Kirk up. I'm like, do you hear anything? And he was like, no. And it got so bad to the point where I had to use his headphones, like the noise canceling headphones, and I played like loud music to fall asleep. Not even to fall asleep, but loud music, so I could lay there and just lay listening to music, because I didn't want to hear the sounds. And it was almost like it would be like an echoey sound of like somebody saying, and nothing, there's nothing that whoever was saying that I could understand what they were saying. It was just, you knew people were talking, and a bunch of people, and it was like echoing, and then like it was just ridiculous. No bueno. And then mommy mentioned her seeing like somebody on the staircase, like walking.
Oh my gosh.
Going up or down, I forget.
Coming down.
And it was literally that same week that all of that was happening, and I kind of got like angry about it. Poor mommy, not at her, but just like about the situation. And I was like, she mentioned, like, you knew that she was gonna mention something spooky like that, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to tell me about it. And then of course she said it. And I got mad at her. I was like, I don't want to know that.
I have not explained any of this, so we have
Oh.
to explain this. I wonder what I look like.
You don't look bad.
The same week that we were, like a couple days before we were supposed to shoot High Strangeness, I was running lines in my room with Lisa, because she got that role like a couple days before we were supposed to shoot. So we were in there, and it was late at night, and Mom comes into my room, and she just walked in, and like we just knew it was something that we didn't want to hear. At this point, we had been to and from the house rehearsing, and like every day I would go into the house. I'm like, hi, it's me, guys. This is Lisa. Thanks for letting us be here.
And I was actually like, hello, I am here in peace.
Same. Mom comes into my room while I'm running lines with Lisa, and she just like saunters in, like, and she goes, well, I just saw a duppy. And Lisa gets really,
That's how
really
it went.
mad.
That's how it went.
We're already extremely duppy aware at this point, because High Strangeness is a literal movie about ghosts, and then we're at this house that we for sure know is haunted, and then we come back to our house thinking it's a safe haven, and then Mom comes in and is like, no. It's not actually. This ghost that she saw was, she said she was sitting in the kitchen right here actually. She was sitting at that table, and if you sit here, if you sit there, you can stay here and you can see, that's the staircase. She said that she was sitting here and she was like, she saw somebody, a man in a white shirt, descending the staircase.
Phil
She
or
thought
Kirk?
it was our brother, Phil or Kirk. That's why she stayed down there, essentially. Like, she stayed down here because she was waiting for us to waiting for whoever was coming down the stairs to
come
get
into
to the
the
kitchen.
kitchen.
And
Nobody came. And then,
no one came.
but I mean, it was like 11 o'clock or something. But alas, that's not, you know.
And eventually she went upstairs because she was like,
Where
was
did
no
they
one.
go?
And then she asked Phil if it was him. It wasn't him. Asked Kirk. Asked our dad, who was literally asleep. And then
But there was a second time.
there was a second
in
time
the same week.
in the same week when she saw the man in the white shirt, and she was coming out of Phil's room, and at the end of the hall, which is a long hall, is the door to her room. And she said she came out of Phil's room and was closing the door. Phil was in his room and the hall was dark, and she said she saw the same man in the white shirt going into her room.
Yeah.
See, like,
Coming from our mom, who used to like roll her eyes at like a concept like that.
but
I mean, all of us except for Diddy used to roll our eyes at a concept like that. So
but in moments of weakness, mom did say, mom, you know, she had her moments where she was like, yes, they're real. Do we know if this is a ghost that followed us home from the High Strangeness house? No, but the timing is there.
I don't like, nothing like that had ever happened in that house, and the owners of the house hadn't lived there for a while, and it was just the house.
What do you mean nothing like that has ever, like that was, it was well documented.
No, I'm saying like filming something in there.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
filming up like anything in there.
Nothing.
Like a production, people being in there, messing around with everything.
A whole heap of people they don't know messing
Yeah.
around with things.
Like people being all over the place, intrusive in every room, moving furniture, scratching the floor, like really just being deep in there.
yeah, but we're unscathed. Here we are.
I don't like experiences like that, so I'm not. Yeah, that was really cool.
That was not cool. That wasn't cool. Wouldn't do it again.
Mm-mm.
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 No. No.
Mm-mm. More like a history documentary about the history of fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something
Tangible.
something harmless.
Did you say the history of fish?
I don't know. Evolution, something that's not going to piss
the unseen world off.
unseen world off. Apes, something.